Welcome again, everybody, back to the Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show. We're live from Runts Barbecue, as we are each and every Tuesday night from 6:30 to just past the top of the hour at 7 o'clock on YouTube.com/Rougher TV, as well as on our radio partner, Okie Country 101.7 KTFX Huddleston, along with the now victorious head football coach in the Muskogee Roughers. I've always said nothing tougher than a Rougher, but nothing better than a win.
It's a great feeling, and we felt like the 2 weeks definitely helped on having some time to kind of hone in on some things that we knew needed attention, and I thought our coaching staff did a great job of really drilling our kids on some of the basic things that we wanted to accomplish, and had a game plan that we felt good about, and they went out and executed it.
Well, from the opening kick to the final seconds, you took care of your business.
Yeah, it's nothing better than setting the tone with a big kick return for a touchdown.
85 yards to the house, yeah. I had no idea. I knew Nunu was quick, but I had no idea that the guy who wears number 8 was that fast.
Yeah, he's got next level speed type of guy. If he gets in the open, you just want everybody to signal touchdown. You don't want him clipping or anything else, because he gets in the open, they're not going to catch him. So it's a great way to set the tone.
Overall, what do you feel like was the difference? I mean, obviously you can take a look at your competition from the first 3 weeks with Booker T and the 2 Arkansas schools, who are continuing to prove that both Rogers and Bentonville West may be 2 of the best in Class 7A football this season.
No doubt.
What do you feel like was the biggest difference in the approach of the other players and their readiness for last Friday night's game at Ponca City?
Well, I think we had a good break and a start over. We knew that, it was kind of the new season of district play. Definitely played a factor. We tried to really just simplify and do, meat and potatoes offensively. I thought Coach Fine and the staff did a great job of really focusing in on just the things that we knew we had to get better at. We had a couple little personnel changes we made. I think might have made a difference, and really, I think it comes down to a little bit of urgency. You get in a position where this, everybody in the room felt like we better win this one, or this thing could get to go in the wrong direction, and so you come out with urgency and your back's against the wall and see what you're made of. And I think our players and coaches responded very well in that environment.
And the 55-29 victory on the road at Ponca City keeps all those preseason measurements, the goals that you set forth for this year's football team, all still within your grasp.
Yeah, no doubt that the district championships. The goal that we're after now, and so we're 1-0. It's the best we can do. We got our 15 district points, and hopefully we'll continue that trend the next few weeks and set the stage for a big one later in the year.
Well, obviously the Roughers will be back at home this Friday night with a little bit of what coaches often will say is a distraction, because it is homecoming day and homecoming weekend at Rougher Village. A lot of extra activities go along with that. The naming of the street yesterday, officially making it Rougher Road from that 1 mile stretch in front of the high school. It's kind of a welcomed sight to see that sign go up.
Yeah, I was out there at the ceremony, and it was kind of cool. And they took that plastic off of the sign, and you see that, visually. It's a pretty cool deal. And it seemed like everybody was pretty excited about it. And there's no doubt homecoming can – it can make you lose your hair.
Yeah.
And so
well, the good thing about it, you already done that, so you didn't have to.
I've been through a lot of homecomings, Bill.
Exactly.
So,
well, for sure.
That's the problem. So hopefully we'll be able to stay focused in and understand that we don't want to lose the momentum we created last weekend. Like I tell them, this will be a game where there's a lot of people that will be at the homecoming game. This is the only game they might come to. May come from out of town. Or
all of the reserve seats that weren't purchased in the preseason or prior to this week, the reserve section has been sold out because there's a big class reunion of 20 years of the class 2005. From what I've heard in street talk, they bought every remaining reserve seat to fill the stands Friday night.
Well, and that's motivating to the players. They love having a big crowd, and like I tell them, let's go put on a show. You're going to have a big crowd. The stage is set. This will be an opportunity for us to sell our team and show them what we're capable of.
Well, one more good story that came out today, and that's the great news that we get in Tion Brewer, a young man that played Rougher football here a couple of seasons ago, has had a life-changing experience with his battle with cancer, but today was able to ring the bell. And watching the video of him ringing the bell, he actually pulled the ringer right out of the center of the bell. But you know what that emotion's about now. You lived it with your own son, but obviously it's great news for Tion.
It's great to win football games, but that's that's above and beyond anything we can think of on a football field. So congratulations to him, and so happy for him and his family.
Well, maybe we can get him back with us sometime on Rougher Football throughout the 2025 campaign. We're going to take our first time out. Dale and I are going to get a chance to dig into our food that came just before we went on the air here at Runts Barbecue. When we come back, we'll be talking with the guy who orchestrated the offensive game plan last Friday night. Everything was just fine. Mason Fine, offensive coordinator for the Ruffers, will be our guest. But first, this time out of the Rougher Football Coaches Show from Runts Barbecue.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
This land was a tapestry of Indian nations and tiny towns that grew into great cities. Bank First is loyal to the shared mission of growth and success that built Oklahoma. That's why in more than 50 communities statewide, our banks are run by local leaders who stick together and work hard to continue unlocking Oklahoma's great promise. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
A super time to buy September savings at J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. Buy a new Silverado 1500, take $10,000 off MSRP. Shop over 60 used from $16,965. September savings top the list. Don't overpay. Come see Jay. New Silverado, $10,000 off. Over 60 used from $16,965. At J. Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee, 144 West Shawnee.
My brother and sister left me again. They went back to school. Can you believe that? But don't worry, they still call me every morning, thanks to their brand new phones from Bravado Wireless. My sister even dropped hers in the pool, but Bravado's trade-in help has her covered. And my brother, he's flexing with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Like, how cool is that? Mom and Dad got deals too. Bravado's unlimited plan saved the whole family money.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back at Runts Barbecue. We continue this week's Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show from Runts Barbecue, where it's a little bit of barbecue and some pretty good food in front of us. And, Dale, we bring in a guy who last Friday night, I think, proved that the offensive game plan was everything he's been diagramming since he arrived this summer.
Well, there's no doubt if I can say anything about Mason is he's a worker and he's a winner, and he's proven that in all phases of his life. And so, you know, when you have that mentality, and we've talked about grit, and all I knew of Mason Fine was what I knew of him as a player, and of course you'd heard people say what a great young guy he is. But he's very gritty, and he's starting to figure out what we have to do to be successul on offense.
Is he as quiet as he sometimes appears to be, or is it just when I come around?
No, initially you might think that, but no, he'll when he gets wound up, and he loves talking football, and so he's definitely a talker.
Mason also not only had an outstanding high school career for which he still holds the career passing records, if I'm right, and single season.
Yep.
To go along with that, but also had an outstanding college career at the University of North Texas, where congratulations, you've been going to be inducted to their Hall of Fame.
Yep, going to go down there November 1st for the ceremony down there for the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Let's talk about your journey to Muskogee. I mean, obviously coming out of Locust Grove, where you played for former Rougher coach Matt Hennessy, and then the collegiate level at the University of North Texas, and now ending up here as Dale's offensive coordinator. What was it that attracted you to the Muskogee football program?
Yeah, I think so. I just kind of got done playing up in the CFL, and I was around in Pryor, Mays County, just giving up lessons and stuff for those kids. And I was at Salina. They kind of needed a volunteer OC, so I stepped into that and just enjoyed it, loved it with every bit of part of me. And then I ran into Coach Bryant over in Pryor a couple of times, and we just kind of sat down and talked football. And then when I saw that Coach Condict got hired over at Muskogee, I was ecstatic because I always kind of talked about maybe wanting to, coach high school, especially at Muskogee. It just kind of felt like a good fit, being there. And I remember talking to my dad just a couple of weeks before Coach Condict reached out to me. And we were over there and came and met him and kind of looked at the facilities, and we talked ball for, 4 or 5 hours. And, we were able to sit down and just talk football. And we were lucky to get it done, and it's been an amazing partnership, and I've learned a lot, from Coach Condict, but also, Coach Bryan and a lot of the other staff members too.
Well, certainly it's been interesting from my perspective to be able to watch you interact with the players. How much does your having been successful as not only a high school player but a college player help you to interact with today's young men?
Yeah, and I think just kind of being young in my career, I'm still trying to figure out, how to develop these relationships with these players. But at the end of the day, I've just been staying true to myself, and I think it comes off as how I was as a player and a quarterback. That's kind of how I interact with people and connect and try to get the most out of them. And hopefully they see the passion that I have for the game, and it kind of rubs off on them. But also, at the end of the day, I just want to see these kids go be successful on and off the field. So I want to give them every single tool available that I have, that I've learned from other guys, and try to spread that knowledge to them. And one, obviously, you want to see them be successful on Friday nights, but also, when they hang up the jersey, whenever that may come, that they go and be successful in life.
We're talking with Muskogee Refer offensive coordinator Mason Fine. Coach, not only is he kind of, as he explained, kind of got everything right, going the right direction, but I've noticed him out in practice. He still can sling the ball. I think if you gave him a jersey, he'd like to jump out there along with.
He likes to show the arm off every now and then. And, if you need a scout quarterback, it's hard to find one better than what we have. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've seen him. You watch, our quarterbacks throw, and they make a good throw. It's almost sometimes like he'll step up and start throwing with them. It's like, okay, I'll show you how this can really be done.
How do you communicate that passing style or what you expect from quarterbacks? Because you work with Case and Delgado, you work with Styler McHenry, you work with all the quarterbacks in the Rufford football camp. What are the things that you're trying to tool them, teach them to be able to be successful on Friday?
Well, I think any quarterback is unique in itself, so you don't want to take away from their individuality. You want them to be them when they step out there under the lights. You want them to, play it where they're confident and they have that swaggerness to them. You're just trying to give them the tools to execute the offense at a high level. And so when it comes to Kaysen, for example, there's not a whole lot of mechanic wise of throwing the ball. He throws the ball better than what I've seen at a kid at that age. And so you're just trying to time up the routes with his footwork to the receivers, making sure the receivers and the quarterbacks are on the same page, because that's the biggest thing is the relationship that you have with the receivers and the quarterback. So it may take a little bit of extra reps. It's going game speed. It's going because everyone's going to run a little bit faster on Friday night. So you're trying to get those kids in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to run like they would in the game to get that timing down in that relationship, and also just trying to improve on his football IQ and football knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge already. I'm just trying to add to that, so when he goes under the lights on Friday, the game slows down for him. So he's out there, and for him, hopefully it's easy. And we'll continue to work hard, and that's the thing about all of our quarterbacks. They want to work hard, and they want to be coached hard. So it's good to have guys like that.
I kind of felt like there was a fuse that was burning short with the offensive mindset of Mason Fine going into week number 4. You were ready to see that firework explosion from the offense, and it happened.
Yeah, and I think you just got to be patient at times. Especially with Case, we just got him, in July.
Right.
That's a lot on a kid when he's only been around for a couple of weeks, and so you got to be patient. He's improving every single week, and so is the offense, from our receivers to our O-line to our running backs. You look at that, the starters. A lot of those guys don't have a whole lot of varsity reps or varsity minutes, but they're coming along so well, and they're so good at being coachable. They want to be coached, they want to be coached hard, and they want to be great. And so it's awesome when you have players like that on the offensive side. So we're going to get better each and every week just because these guys just want it. They're hungry for it.
Dale has his own seat in the offensive war room along with Mason. How much do you guys interact? I'll let you guys kind of play back and forth with each other. Who decides the play card? Who decides what plays are going to be called? And I know you're upstairs watching from above, but he's always on the phone.
I'll answer that. The ones that work really good, I'm claiming. No, hey, of course, we had a foundation of things that we laid out when Mason first started talking to us. And then I kind of guide a little bit, but I'm not ever going to try to feel like it's our offense, but at the core, we're doing the things that he believes in. And I think I think what he's probably learning is you have to adapt to the team you have. And he's been great with that. I wasn't sure an air raid guy, is he going to want to throw it every play? It's not like that at all. Mason's very much a run. He's going to run the football. He wants to be physical in our run game. I feel like we work very well together. He's been very good to, he's very firm in what he believes in, but he's also been willing to take some advice and opinions I have. He doesn't use all of them, which I appreciate that. Any great coordinator I've ever had, you're going to kind of have some difference. I mean, we have arguments in those rooms,
of those.
And it's healthy. I mean, if you get to where you can't voice your opinion in the room, then I think it can become very unhealthy. So, we have a very, very healthy relationship.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's just a great partnership. Obviously, he has a tradition of being a great coach. So I want to learn as much as I can from him. He's been there helping me out, whether that's, making up the game script and football situations from, practice schedule and stuff. And he's, something that I may not have a lot of experience in, he does, and he helps me out a lot with that. But also, I got to give a shout out to our coaching staff too on that side. I mean, we have great coaches on that side, especially the offense. Just speaking with the offense because I've been around them the most. But from Coach Dvorak to Coach Norm to Coach Colin, Coach Colin to Coach Pirtle. I mean, it's just a great chemistry that we all have that we feel free to.
That's not who we get. Can't forget one other. We cannot forget Don Mace. Otherwise,
Coach Mace. Sorry about that.
He'll send his brother to a rescue.
Yeah. I mean, all those guys, and we sit there for hours, on Sunday, developing a game plan to put our kids in a position to be successful, and everyone feels free to get their opinion, and it's just a great chemistry. I mean, our staff's awesome.
And I tell you, last week, I'll just say, Coach Dvorak, he motivated me with how hard he coached, and we're so lucky that he's a Muskogee rougher, and he stayed here and he stuck with Muskogee and was willing to continue this path. And because I tell you, man, he is a worker. He's a very intelligent guy. He's passionate. As an O-line coach, they're hard to find great line coaches, and I consider him a great O-line guy. And even we're talking about Mason, working together. When you're how old are you? 27, 28,
20,
something like that. He's a young guy. And we're struggling on offense because of who we're playing. I'm telling you,
exactly.
The two teams we play, we're not going to have a ton. And the last thing in the world I want to do is leave him out there on that island of struggle, because I've been there before, man. I've called offense many years of my career, and man, when it gets to going bad, you get a lot of criticism. So I want him to feel supported more than anything from my seat.
Last question before we get out of this segment. And let you get back to finishing the
ribs over here.
Whatever's remaining. He got his food way before Dale and I.
I should have told the waitress, quarterbacks don't need 3 ribs. Just bring them 1 rib. It's about all they can eat.
What's the advantage for you where Travis likes to be on the sideline with the defense? What's the advantage for you having that bird's eye view from up top?
Yeah, so actually the first 3 weeks we went bird's eye view. I was up in the booth, but this past week at Ponca City I was actually on the sideline. And I just enjoy being. I mean, you get advantages from both. You can see, a lot more up there. But I think on the sideline, which is probably where I'm going to stay at, I think you have a voice right there in your ear with your quarterback, and I think you get the feel of the game. You get to feel the energy, the momentum shifts, and so I think that's probably where I'm going to end up being, is on the sideline. Just I like it. I can talk to the guys, talk to the O-line, talk to the quarterbacks, receivers. I can almost explain to the players what calls we're calling next, what plays we're calling next, and kind of coach them up right before they head out there.
And obviously, his vocabulary is extreme, because I've seen just a part of the different lineup variations, the different names he comes up with, something to go left or right, and all the letters of the alphabet. Have you managed this syllabus of Mason Fine football vocabulary?
Got about 90% of it. I stay up late, and that's why I'm sleepy all the time, having to study the offensive terminology.
How do you get that across to these players, all the different variations, so that when you send the signs in, they know exactly what to do?
Yeah, I think, you try to make it a process, a way that they're learning, whether it's a letter, an R or left, tell them to go right or left. It all kind of makes sense, and hopefully it sticks with them. But also, it takes reps, and it takes our players have also taken the time to learn it, during practice, but maybe off the field sometimes. And we simplified a lot of things to make it, because we're adapting. We want to put our kids in a position to be successful, and whatever we need to do, we'll do it. And our kids are catching on very well, and I think again you're just going to see that keep climbing each and every week.
Well, with the offensive point production last week, everything was just fine. And we hope to see a repeat of that performance Friday night against Putnam City West.
Yes, sir. I hope so, too. Mason
Fine, offensive coordinator of the Muskogee Ruffers here in 2025. We'll take a timeout. We'll bring back two guys that were very instrumental in that big win over Ponca City last week, quarterback Casey Delgado, and the guy that lit the fire for the Ruffers, Keanu Nunu James. And we'll find out how much fire is in his belly after he tried to do those cowboy fries here at Runts Barbecue. Back with more of the Ruffer Football Coaches Show after this timeout.
Runts Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runts Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runts Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Runts Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Folks, Kyle Edwards, GMC in Muskogee. I was born and raised in Muskogee. Our family has owned the GMC dealership for over 50 years. We take great pride in being in the Muskogee community. Things have changed over the years, but one thing remains the same, our desire to take care of our customers. Looking for a new GMC truck or SUV? We've got them, and you have our commitment to give you the best buying experience around. From sales, parts, or service, we are here for you. You have my promise to give you the best selection, best price, and the most for your trade-in at 1600 North Main in Muskogee or KyleEdwardsGMC.com.
Welcome back to another Tuesday night edition of the Muskogee Ruffer Football Coaches Show. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Muskogee Ruffers, Dale Condict, who's got that elusive win number one under his belt. And two big reasons for that success last Friday night in a 55-29 win over Ponca City are these two gentlemen to your left. Quarterback Casey Delgado and the guy that lit the fuse for the firework explosion at Ponca City, Keanu Nunu James, who wears number 8 and took it 85 yards?
85, yeah.
When the opening kick was coming your way, Nunu, did you realize that you were going to be able to take it all the way?
Yeah. Once I got it, I just got to take it back. I seen the hole cut, and I was just out of there. Obviously,
if you're back there and you're looking into that sun, though, man, you have to worry about where is the football.
Yeah.
How were you able to zero in on it and then find your blocker?
I just seen the ball drop because one of my other teammates, he dropped the ball, went through his hands. Seen it bounce on the ground a couple times, so I scooped it up, and then just history from there.
It was history, and
it
was good history.
Coach Pearl's in charge of special teams. It was executed pretty well, and the only question I had was he going to be able to outrun the kicker. Had a pretty good angle, but man, and really all game he showed that he has speed that gives angles problems. People think they have an angle on him. He's fast enough to outrun the angle sometimes.
And the guy that wore the number 10 jersey last Friday night was equally on his game as Casey Delgado quarterbacked the Ruffers to that 55-29 win. I think the stats ended up being 302.
Something like that,
20 of 25 passing. It's a pretty high percentage rate. I know you had to be all smiles afterwards.
Oh, yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about how you were able to see the game slow down. Coach Fine talked about that a moment ago, about the game slowing down for you. How has that progressed to make you feel more comfortable directing the offense?
I would definitely say going into that game, we definitely prepared. Having those 2 weeks going into it, whenever we were just out there, it's like everything that we did in practice translated into the game. And it was just perfect. I mean, everything was slowed down. Everybody was in the spots they needed to be. I mean, it was just all 100%. Everybody was on their game.
Talk to me about your progression. You're working from the gun. You're working whatever the terminology is that for it in the syllabus of Mason Fine offense. I don't know how it's been tapped. Sometimes it's called the pistol. Sometimes it's shotgun. Sometimes it's split diamond. Sometimes it's I don't know what other matchup it might be. But how are you able to go through your progressions? Let's talk about it on a pass play.
Like just a normal pass play? Say spot left. I mean, high to low, read the corner. But, I mean, how Coach Fine really teaches it, I mean, makes it really, really simple. Really simple.
Now, you also have a pretty good cast of receivers out there.
Oh,
we
yes,
saw
sir.
3 of them who have some pretty
100%.
big nights last week, maybe even 4 if we want to include the tight end package too.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you were able to get the ball to Bees, and he was able to do well. The guy to your left had a spectacular catch and a pass that you dropped it right in the breadbasket.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that experience.
Man, the receivers, I mean, I'd say for me, the best receiver I've ever had. I mean, they just get in the spots they need to be. If they need to settle in a position they need to settle in, they settle. But I don't know. I mean, chemistry is definitely getting there.
What is the thing, Dale, that you feel like is becoming special about this offensive group? Because we saw the continued maturity last week of this still very young ball club.
Well, and I think they would probably agree if you ask our offensive personnel, our coaches, as good as we looked at times the other night, and you could definitely see the explosive potential. We're still nowhere near where we feel like we can get, which is great. You know, we want that to, build up as the season goes. But there's definitely a guy at every position we feel like on our skill positions on the field at a time that can go score. We distributed the ball around to a bunch of different guys, which keeps the defense honest. Cason's. Everybody's heard of Cason Delgado, I think, if you're paying attention to high school football, and we were waiting to see what we had heard about because we've seen it in practice at times, and we've seen the arm strength, the agility of running the football, which we saw early in the game the other night, and it all started to come together against Ponca City, and the numbers he put up. So there were 3 or 4 throws during that football game not very many guys can make.
Exactly, and the one that he threw to Nunu in that double coverage package still sticks in my mind of how that ball just seemed to lay right in the right spot. Nobody else was going to get it except number 8.
He had, Nunu, I think, had 5 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. Of course, the 85-yard kick return, and then he flipped around and played a lot of the defense throughout the night. So I'm sure he had a sore body that next morning after the game. But
it prepared him for tonight's massacre of the Cowboy friends.
I guess this is our first juniors we've had on the show.
It is indeed. Coach talked about you playing both ways. How hard is that for you? But then how much does it help you as a receiver when you're at the defensive back spot and vice versa?
For a receiver, I would say it helps me because when I'm on defense, the DBs, they do stuff, and I can critique them on what I shouldn't do, and what I should do. But then when I'm on defense and I'm reading the receiver, I can tell what route they're gonna run, how they break, when they're gonna catch the ball. They'll show their eyes, show their hands. I just learn how to play through the ball, So I say it's pretty hard playing both ways, but just conditioning, it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah, and both of these guys, they work all year at this. They when football season's over, they probably take a couple weeks, and then I don't even know if they get 2 weeks, but then they're right back at it. They're working at this game all the time, so it means a lot to them. It's a lot of pressure that's put on some of these players that invest so much of their time and resources into becoming the players that they are. So,
Jason, we talked about your passing stats last night, 20 of 25 last Friday night against Ponca City, but we didn't talk about your decision making as to when to run. What is it that you look at and see in evaluating that? I mean, I know probably Coach Fine may be yelling at you from the sideline, or somebody may be, but you have to make a split-second decision. How do you determine when it's time to pull it and go?
For me, either if it's an RPO, a read.
Sometimes they're design calls.
Oh, yeah. But if I'm in shotgun, it's a pass. I really just go. I favorite my first and second progression, sometimes third. But if it doesn't work out, I'm getting pressure. I'm just gonna I'll make room, roll out, find if I can find a receiver. If not, I'm just gonna take off and run.
And then once you take off running, who are you looking for to come to your aid? I mean, who's that blocker that you're hoping is leading you down the field?
If I could pick a blocker?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd want Coda. Yes, sir.
And there's some of these reads we may not want to get too in-depth on, right? We don't want to give away too much of what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
A few of these things are secret.
Exactly. But, I mean, it was fun to watch you guys experience success and to see the smile. I mean, I could almost see the smile on Nunu's face when he came off that 85-yard kickoff return. It was as wide.
I don't know who was more tired, him or Pirtle. I think Pirtle might have run more yards on the sideline after he scored that than he did to actually score.
Well, certainly it was an exciting Friday night. We're looking forward to continuation of that. Kason Delgado, our rougher quarterback, and Keanu Nunu James, the guy that got everything rolling the right way as a wide receiver and also goes a little bit over on the defensive side. Before we get out of here, though, you got a younger brother.
Yes, sir.
How much of a battle is there between the two of you guys for competitiveness?
I'd say it's definitely competitive because he plays defense as well. Of course, whenever he's on offense, he's my best friend. But whenever he goes on defense, it's definitely competitive. He breaks up a pass, he's going to run with that for the whole year. I mean, it's nonstop every single day, even when we're home. But I love him. I mean, he's my brother. I'm glad to be playing with him. Glad to be on the same team with him. It's a blessing.
Absolutely. It is a blessing to have you, two of you. Nunu, who's that player that can cause you to not second guess, but cause you to think and cause you to want to aspire for greatness?
The player.
The teammate.
I'll probably say Jamie because he's always there when I'm low. He'll be there. Pick your head up, Nunu. You got it. Just do what you do.
You guys certainly did what you do in convincing fashion last Friday night at Ponca City. We'll look for a repeat performance this Friday night against Putnam City West. Dale, your thoughts on these last thoughts on these guys?
Oh, glad to see them get off to a big start in district play. Both very explosive, talented players that we're fortunate to have on our team. I mean, can't wait to see how this thing unfolds as the season goes. I know the book's still being written, but there's some big plays coming from these two guys.
Interestingly enough, Nunu chose the Cowboy fries.
Yeah, he got about half of them.
Hidden behind the glasses down on the opposite end of the soft drinks was that nachos?
It's not barbecue nachos. They look good. There's still a whole bunch of them left. Quarterback. They don't eat much.
Yeah. Well, all he's got to do is put up 300 more yards, and he can do whatever he wants.
He can eat whatever he wants if he keeps throwing the ball like that.
Absolutely. Kason Delgado, Nunu James, our guest here in this segment. We'll take our last time out, and when we come back, we'll talk about the homecoming opponent for the Muskogee Ruffers, Putnam City West. That after this break from Runts Barbecue on the Tuesday night Ruffer Football Coaches Show.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
The world of education is driven by numbers. So is the one company more schools and universities call on when fire or water damage strikes. 1-800-SERVPRO. The #1 choice in commercial cleanup and restoration.
When it matters most. The name to remember? ServPro of Muskogee. 918-913-4490. Online at servpro.com. Proudly serving the elderly of the Muskogee community, Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center is a skilled nursing facility empowering better living through long-term care as well as many other respite care options. And coming soon to Broadway, the Memory Care Unit. At Broadway Care Rehabilitation, the amazing therapy department can help you or your loved one get back on their feet. Contracted with most major insurances, follow them on Facebook and see many of the enriching activities offered to the residents. Broadway Care Rehabilitation Center, proud to support the Muskogee Ruffers.
Have you been injured as the result of a car accident? Has your family been impacted by the death of a loved one caused by someone else's negligence? Whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to face it alone. At 222 Injury Lawyers, our dedicated personal injury attorneys are here to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Call 918-528-0222.
Welcome back to Runts Barbecue, our final segment of this week's Tuesday night Rougher Football Coaches Show. Bill Huddleston with the head coach of the Muskogee Roughers, Dale Condict. Dale, you get win number one. You come back for a homecoming encounter against Putnam City West. These guys that were here earlier, the players, they all understand wins and losses. They understand records. They understand who's the favorite. But it's a game that anybody can win any Friday night. How do you guard against your players maybe not being as keyed in as they were last Friday night, knowing that Putnam City West has had a tough season so far at 0-4, but, hey, they bring a football team, and if you don't play your best, you'll have to go the full 48.
Well, one thing I learned early is you're not going to fool them. I mean, you can sit here and you try to build teams up, but more importantly than worrying about how good teams are at this point in time, we got to build off of the momentum we created. We need to come out and look even better this week than we did last week. If we do that, the score will take care of itself. But we don't want to lose any of the momentum we created because we've got a few weeks to continue to build momentum to reach the potential that we can have as a playoff team. And we're nowhere near that yet, but it's headed in the right direction at the pace it needs to be going. And so, I feel good about our chances Friday. But, again, we want to look sharp and play well and feel good about how we played after the game.
We certainly know Ricky Lewis is going to be looking in the face of his players and say, hey, we're going over there. They're expecting a big crowd. They're expecting a celebration on homecoming. They're not expecting anything from us. Let's go show them what we're made of. What have you seen in Putnam City West that would want to make you at least have a second thought?
Well, they definitely have some athletes in different positions, and defensively they're going to get a couple different fronts. And if you don't know what you're doing up front, it can create some problems early. Then it can make for even a sloppy night. That you sometimes you can go out and win and it's sloppy and it doesn't feel good, and you don't go away with anything in regards to momentum. So hopefully we'll come out like we did the other night, hot, whether it's a big return or a big play, big defensive play, and get a big crowd going. And this will be only our second game at home.
Well, that's hard to believe. We're halfway through the season. This is home game number 2.
I've experienced Rougher Village, and in the first 2 minutes of the game, we gave up 2 onside kicks and 2 touchdowns, so it wasn't a whole lot of fun that first time. So I'm looking forward to, going out this time and executing a game plan, having some fun, and giving our crowd something to be excited about.
Well, hopefully Dr. Mendenhall can come up to the press box and push the button time after time after time to sound that big train horn.
Yeah.
And the lights can flash multiple times as the Roughers get a homecoming night win.
Yeah, we want to light that horn up. We did finally. We got to hear it last time.
I'd be happy if you burned it out. I mean, if you used it so much that it wouldn't work anymore. But that'll be Friday night at Rougher Village. Game time is 7 o'clock. Pre-game show on Rougher TV as well as on Okie Country 101.7 KTFX. We'll be at 6:30 with our countdown to kickoff. We hope that you can make it in person, but if not, join us here for another exciting action on Friday night of Muskogee Rougher football. And then don't forget, come back here next Tuesday night to Runts Barbecue, or any day of the week coming to Runts, because it's always great food. Dale, it's time to eat.
I keep trying different things, and they hadn't let me down yet.
Well, I don't think they're going to let us down, and the Roughers won't let you down either. So hope you'll see you Friday night at the Village as the Muskogee Roughers take on Putnam City West. For head coach Dale Condict, for Mason Fine, for Kason Delgado, and Keanu Nunu James, I'm Bill Huddleston saying so long from Runts Barbecue on this Tuesday night coaches show. And remember, as always, it's another great day to be a Rougher.